sentiments. So, with nostalgia, most Nigerians appreciated the move of Nigeria's Democracy Day from May 29th to June 12th. And it was done during this current administration. Today marks the fourth year Nigeria would celebrate Democracy Day on June 12th. It is another opportunity for us to look back at our democratic journey, at the present and the future. On our lineup today, we have features that shows different aspects, actions, and personal sacrifices that all served as springboard for the democracy we're enjoying today. As democracy serving will also include the mood of the celebration today, June 12 in the eyes of an activist, and legacies of women who literally walked through barriers to ensure more women participate in politics today. Then we'll be looking at the part of ideology in all this. Is it still about ethics, about philosophy, morals? What is it about? We have a feature on this, so stay tuned. And we'll also be looking at political intrigues ahead of the 2023 elections, including other human interest stories. But I'll pause now so that my colleague Elizabeth Omoriye will take the news segment. Newsline proper will continue after. Hello, Lizzie. Happy Democracy Day.
Jenny, I'm sure you're fond of Lizzie. Lizzie, today it's me, if you can see me. Good to see you anyway. So let's put the news from here in Abuja. And President Muhammadu Buhari is pleading with Nigerians to come together and work with the federal government towards building a peaceful and prosperous nation. In his nationwide broadcast to commemorate this year's Democracy Day celebration, he promised to deliver a free, fair and transparent 2023 elections, as well as a safe and effectively secured nation. Our State House correspondent Adamu Sambu will tell us more.
Fellow Nigerians, this is my last Democracy Day speech as your president. By June 12, 2023, you will already have a new president.
The new president, President Buhari, promised will be elected peacefully and transparently, and in honor and memory of Chief M.K. Abuja, one of Nigeria's national heroes of democracy. President Buhari said all Nigerians must work together towards achieving this and indeed a peaceful transition process. He said the sacrifices, patriotism and peaceful struggles of such heroes should guide their actions when it comes to electing leaders and holding them accountable.
I followed the party primaries closely from the state level to the presidential level. I was very impressed to see across all the political parties that those who won were magnanimous in the victories. Those who lost were gracious in defeat, and those aggrieved opted to seek judicial justice as opposed to jungle justice. We must sustain this mature attitude to campaigning and ultimately voting. We must never see it as a do or die affair.
In the last 7 years, President Buhari explained that the governing APC has made significant investments towards reforming and enhancing the nation's electoral laws, systems and processes to safeguard the votes of the electorate. He said both the executive, legislature and judiciary are committed towards ensuring that the reforms are fully implemented in the next general elections.
Your right to choose your government will be preserved and protected. I will therefore take this opportunity to ask all candidates to continue running issue-focused campaigns and to treat opponents with dignity. As leaders, you must all showcase high character and never forget that the world is watching us and Africa looks up to Nigeria to provide example in governance.
And on the concerns by many Nigerians over insecurity occasioned by terrorist activities in parts of the country, the president assured them that the government is working hard towards finding lasting solutions, saying, however, that that a safe country can only be achieved if the citizens support and cooperate with security agencies in crime prevention.
I am living daily with the grief and worry for all those victims and prisoners of terrorism and kidnapping. For those who have lost their lives, we will continue to seek justice for their families against the perpetrators. For those currently in captivity, we will not stop until they are freed and their kidnappers are brought to justice. I will conclude this Democracy Day speech, my last as president, by assuring you of my commitment to protect Nigeria and the Nigerians from all enemies from within and outside.
June 12 Democracy Day is set aside to not only celebrate freedom and unity of the country, but also the resolve by Nigerians to protect and preserve the nation's democratic ideals. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And Professor Kabir Mado joins me live from our Cardinal studio. Professor Mado is a professor of political science and public affairs. So he's here to give us more perspective on Democracy Day. Professor Mado, thank you for joining me on the Network News.
Good evening, Nigeria.
So let's begin with a bit of review of Mr. President's speech this morning. He dwelt a lot on the ideals of June 12, 1993. How do you evaluate that? And within the context of our celebration?
Very much. I think today marks the beginning of a series of valedictory statements that we'll be hearing from President Buhari from now till he leaves office, on the 29th of May 2023. The speech was, in my view, a very, thought-provoking speech, because the president has consistently and very also assertively made it known to Nigerians that he is committed to ensuring that a free, fair, and credible election takes place in 2023. And also was so pleased, was so happy with the way, the manner of majority that the Nigerian political parties are apparently attending to through the conduct of their primaries at various levels, at least the major political parties. So the president, in my view, clearly has begun to say bye-bye to Nigerians, but while going, also trying to finish very strongly. In the face of, doubting national issues and challenges that are confronting Nigeria. And stressing the history of Democracy Day to, June 12, in my view, again, says a lot, because that was one election that was concluded but was not announced. And so the ecstasy that it enjoys today, and it will likely going to enjoy in the course of Nigerian history, is that it was an election that was safely conducted and not inaugurated. So
exactly, Professor Mato, exactly. And that's why my next question will be on the ideals encapsulated by the event of June 12. The president spoke so much about those ideals, especially the need for a free and fair election. But if you look at the issue of financial inducement, which has become rampant in our political experience, I'm wondering what you have to say about the political players. How democratic have they been?
You see, democracy is simply a means, to an end. It's not an end in itself. And in the history of Nigerian politics and the way it has been played over time, you realize that every epoch of our historical development, there are certain traits and characteristics that define that particular epoch. Unfortunately, what we are facing now. Now, when we came in 1999, up to 2003, the 1999 elections were seen to be credible and better than any other election that was conducted in this country until 2015. Now, that was the character at the beginning. Now, soon after that, we are getting into a very dangerous, threshold of money politics, where financial inducement, contest, electoral contest, or for you to be, a candidate under a political party, you have to bribe you. Well, then what do the citizens expect will be the outcome of what you will be when you get to your position of authority? That means you're making financial investment. And so this inducement actually is the serious crisis that we are facing now in this country. And I think the anti-corruption agencies and other very serious-minded Nigerians especially must begin to be very loud. Let everybody hear, and see that action is being done in order to curtail this very ugly phenomena that is reducing the quality and value of the democratic system that we have in place.
Just one more question for you, Professor Mato, and that will be on the issue that the president spoke very passionately about. He said, and I quote him, that it's impressed to see across political parties that candidates run issue-based campaigns. That's something quite new and quite interesting. But let's look at it from the point of view of the young ones, those who patronize the social media. They tend to make light of every issue. Is it possible to sieve the good from the junk?
The junk is not completely junk. There are quite some useful information there. But the tragedy of, the implication of social media on the psyche of, the development of humanity, I think, is enormous. Rumor mills have replaced real sources of information. Positive education is being gradually replaced by hypothetical views of individuals on what should be and what should not be. So a new form of puritanism, in my view, therefore, seems to be emerging. And we have no choice than to continue to educate our young people on the need to be very honest, sincere, and focused in trying to succeed, because one of the problems that any human society can undergo in history is to have weaknesses in the evolutionary process of their leadership. And I think that's precisely one of the very negative impacts of the social media, which we have to seriously educate our young people towards in order to have a sustained democratic system built in place, which I'm hopeful in the next few years, 8, 12, 16 years, the system will have been more effectively stabilized.
Professor Kabiru Mato, I must thank you for your time on Network News tonight. Professor Mato is a professor of political science and public affairs. He joined me live from our Kaduna studio. Thank you, Professor Mato. All right, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has attributed the successful conduct of the just concluded APC presidential primary election to the critical role played by President Muhammadu Buhari in ensuring a level playing field for all aspirants. Now, he describes it as not only fair and just, but also fatherly. Now, speaking to NTA News after an audience with the president, Senator Lawan expressed absolute confidence in the ability of the governing party to retain power in 2023. Here is State House correspondent Adam Mosambo with a report again.
Senate President Ahmed Lawan was in the State House to not only felicitate with the president on the celebration of Nigeria's June 12th Democracy Day, but also formally appreciate him for ensuring the governing APC remains united, cohesive, and formidable before, during, and after the just concluded special convention. Senator Lawan, who was one of the frontline presidential aspirants, expressed the conviction that the president is genuinely committed and determined to lead the party to its third straight victory in a free, fair, and transparent elections next year.
Every one of us must thank him for playing the fatherly role that he played. And I think having silence at the moment from all quarters is to suggest, in my view, that all is well with the convention that we had. I want to make a promise on behalf of my party that APC and APC administration here at the national level and across all the states of the federation where we hold sway will always do things that will matter for the lives of the most ordinary Nigerians. I am a key participant in this administration. I know how much resources have been invested in the infrastructure development of Nigeria and how much resources have been invested in empowering our youth, our women, and so on and so forth. No administration did like this administration, and kudos to Mr. President and APC.
he described as welcoming and reassuring steps taken so far by the APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to visit not only those that contested with him but other key figures of the party in an effort to bring everyone on board ahead of the forthcoming general elections.
And as a legislature, we are fully committed to ensuring that whatever it takes from our side to support the administration will do so. Time is of essence. While politics is already here, we must not take off our eyes from the ball because in administration, because that will affect our performance. And it's important even for our party that we have some of these major projects completed, because these are supposed to be part of our campaign issues, that we have been able to do things that other administrations, previous administrations, have not been able to do. Let me say that the last 3 years have been extremely successful as far as we are concerned, very productive. We passed several very key, essential and critical and crucial bills in support of our economy, in support of our security, in support of the administration in order to render services in all spheres of our life. And going forward, the last 1 year that we have from today will be full of action. We still have to rework some of our legislative agenda in the National Assembly, in the two chambers. The legislative agendas are almost exhausted, so we need to introduce more, because the major legislative interventions that were required were concluded in the last 3 years.
The Senate President gave a hint that the National Assembly might take a second look at Electoral Act Amendment Bill signed by the President, because, in his words, few things appear not totally right. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And our next story is a special on Democracy Day. Incidentally, not many people see it as a process. They do believe it is a project, but granted it is a process. How has it fared in Nigeria within the past 23 years? Neil Gidi takes us on a journey to yesteryears.
I, Olusegun Obasanjo, that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The return of the Constitution, warm reception from the political class, flashes of smiles of freedom on the faces of others. That was in 1999, the past, and this is the present.
Muhammadu Buhari of the All Progressives Congress is hereby declared winner and is returned elected.
In between the past and the present lies the story of the survival of democracy in Nigeria. These are the caretakers of democracy. 23 years, 6 general elections. Each comes with its own story. Some are stories of how democracy struggled to survive. The death of a sitting president, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, in 2010, bringing into the picture the doctrine of necessity, was a major point. The APC taking over power from PDP was landmark.
Pleasure to hand over this also to you.
And of course, major Supreme Court judgments dislodging incumbent governors and supplanting opposition party candidates were really defining moments.
And let us thank God for Nigerian judiciary, particularly the Supreme Court of Nigeria. If not for the Supreme Court of Nigeria, this democracy would have been a forgotten thing. It was part of the history.
Victory for democracy. But the plural nature of Nigeria promotes identity politics. Then more deep-rooted is electoral violence. Of course, these put democracy in somewhat reverse gear.
I think at the heart of electoral violence is politicians failing to play by the rules, weaponizing poverty and using violence to get power at all costs.
We must try to improve on the practice of democracy in Nigeria, which of course presupposes that we will put in place good governance, and good governance would include justice. it will include inclusiveness, it will include equity, fairness, and all that.
The concept of inconclusive election is a favorite child of democracy lately. Is current signal or promising one?
Rerun or inconclusive elections are only marks to show that yes, there were real contests in those elections. So why should we be afraid of real contests?
Since after the 2019 general elections, democracy is demoralized, as it were. INEC, the only midlife and last lifeline of democracy, is under attack from yet to be identified gunmen.
Surely these attacks are no longer free events, but appear to be quite orchestrated and targeted at INEC. Clearly, these are acts of unjustifiable aggression which may undermine the Commission's capacity to organize elections and dent the nation's electoral process.
To deal with anything that will disrupt what was started in 1999, we are at hand to make sure that the people's will be sustained regardless of whatever happens, regardless of any individual inclinations.
2023 elections fast approaching. New electoral act in place. Democracy waiting to grow faster, and the electorate watches helplessly. But believers of democracy waiting at the end of the tunnel, because there must be a light, since there is a country. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
Indeed, there must be a light. Thank you, Mayor. Now, as Nigeria celebrates 23 years of uninterrupted democracy, state chief executives have renewed their commitment to good governance at an interdenominational church service held across the nation. Elizabeth Omodoye has a compilation of some of those services and activities to commemorate today.
Fred Owiefie in Yenwa reports that Bayelsa State Governor Senator Dowoidiri says the essence of democracy will be lost if leaders fail to remain servants to the people. The governor made this remark at an interdenominational service in commemoration of the day.
Let us be instruments of peace in the hands of the Lord. Let us bring light where there is. Let us bring love where there is.
In Jos, Governor Simon Lalong says effective participation of citizens in the democratic process is critical to the sustenance of the nation's democracy.
In our personal and collective action, we must pull down barriers that seek to divide us on ethnic, religious, political, social, and other lines.
In the spirit of the celebration, Ogun State Governor Dakpo Abiodun granted amnesty to 40 inmates at correctional centers and converted death sentences of 4 others to life imprisonment.
We have to fashion a way to ensure that we will make democracy a means to an end and not an end itself.
In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Right now, answers to nagging questions about Nigeria's corporate existence and the quest for sustainable peace and national development can be found in a return to regional system of government, backed by a fresh constitution, drawn for and by the people. Now, those were the recommendations that formed submissions by pro-democracy activists and eminent Nigerians who gathered for the 29th June 12th Democracy Day celebration in Lagos. And our correspondent, Adine Taiwo, was there.
As a local I was in the air without my passport before I realized that I had no passport on me.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Mike Ozekhomede, mimicking late Chief MK Abiola in one of the moments of recollections at the annual June 12 Democracy Day celebration in Lagos. When it mattered the most to stand up for the cause of democracy, many of these eminent Nigerians and pro-democracy activists here gathered stood up to be counted, especially at the height of the struggle for the actualization of June 12. While their collective struggle, which gave birth to the current democratic dispensation, has been acknowledged by this administration, for them, The advocacy to deep democracy beyond ethno-religious fault lines continues.
We are still yearning for nationhood. The sacrifices that have been made are too much for us to lose this democracy.
May God touch the hands of all of us, including myself, who are politicians, to use public money for public goods.
The argument we have to get people about ethnic, Muslim ticket has been resolved by them.
With the lessons that the 1993 annulled election holds for the country, late Chief MKO Abiola Dese will never be forgotten in Nigeria for his sacrifice.
He was a man who sacrificed his life, his privileges, and his comfort for the future of Nigeria.
And I think it was the Nigerian people's belief that was going to actually change Nigeria, not one man. So we shouldn't be looking for like one man that will be like Superman that will save everybody. You're not going to find Superman. What it is that the individual Nigerians believe in each other.
That wreath-laying ceremony done by eminent Nigerians, pro-democracy activists, and family members of late Chief MK Abiola is the high point of the 29th annual June 12 Democracy Day celebration. It is also an indication that a grateful nation is not ready to forget the sacrifice and martyrdom of late Chief MK Abiola in the advancement of democracy in Nigeria. From the family house of late Chief MK Abiola in Okwebi Ikeja, Adeni Taiwo, NTN.
All right, thank you, Taiwo. And from our Lagos studio, I'm being joined on the news tonight by Olawale Okuniyi, and he is the convener, June 12 Democracy Movement of Nigeria. Thank you, Olawale, for joining me on the news tonight.
It's my pleasure to be with you.
All right, let's quickly look at June 12. We're celebrating today because of the many ideals held by the heroes of June 12, 1993. Now, within our democratic cycle, do you think we have reenacted the spirits, encapsulated by those ideals?
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening, Nigerians. We are trying to reenact that spirit. We are sure that we'll get there. The Nigerians are passionate about that spirit. It's been somehow taken down by the political class. But the Nigerian people are enthusiastic, as demonstrated today, that they want to get to that spiritual height, the spiritual height of the June 12 momentum. And that's what we have displayed today.
All right, Olawale Okuniyi. Maybe I just ask you one other question before we say our thank yous to you. What do you think, or what's your take on the recognition of course, conferred on late MKO Abiola by the current administration?
I appreciate that by the federal government of Nigeria, but we think that that recognition must be concrete in terms of also taking care and the concerns of the family members who also are paying supreme sacrifices because they lost their breadwinner. It is also the federal government and all the other government would think very deeply that those that MK Abiola left should be taken care of well enough, and it is important. It's important because when you look at the vicinity left by MK Abiola, you see it's largely abandoned by government, by those who are benefiting from this present democracy, and we need to look into that. It's very, very important that we begin to look at, because he left an empire. It's a huge sacrifice for democracy.
was a great martyrdom. And if we must really justify our benefit of the sacrifice, we must, in actual fact, begin to also deal with that. And I also want to say that El Dorado will begin when we re-systematize, re-engineer, and restructure the country Nigeria.
Olawale Okuneye, I must really thank you for the perspectives that you have given us. Thank you for joining me on the news at 9.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Olawale Okuneye is convener, June 12 Democracy Movement of Nigeria. Not all the stories, and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is to depart Abuja for Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, to attend the annual summit of the Africa EU Forum, taking place from Monday the 13th to Tuesday the 14th of June 2022. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Lalua Konde, reveals that Professor Osinbajo will join global leaders in business and politics in the opening panel to discuss issues of economic sovereignty from ambition to action. Professor Osinbajo will also be holding bilateral meetings with different stakeholders, including United Nations Secretary General's Special Advocate on Inclusive Finance for Development, Her Majesty Queen Maxima of Netherlands, and the Managing Director of the International Finance Corporation, IFC, Mokhtar Diop, among others. President Muhammadu Buhari joins family, friends, and associates of Minister of State for the Federal Capital Territory, Dr. Ramato Tijani Aliyu, as she marks her 52nd birthday today, June 12, 2022, describing her as one of the women at the forefront of Nigeria's development journey. Her position in government, the president says, makes her a role model, and her track records a confirmation of the fact that women are encouraged to believe in themselves. They can attain great feats. President Buhari wishes her a joyful occasion and many happy returns. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Kari Baba, has ordered the deployment of adequate police personnel, armored personnel carriers, police air wing, the Force Marine, mounted troops, K9 section, and other operational assets for Ekiti governorship election slated for June 18, 2022. Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Dejobi notes that the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Force Criminal Investigation Department, DIG Johnson Babatunde Kokumo, is to supervise and coordinate the security components of the election to ensure a peaceful and conducive environment devoid of violence and to guarantee law-abiding citizens of security to freely perform their civic responsibilities without molestation or intimidation. Now, the Federal Road Safety Corps has deployed 1,500 personnel and 35 vehicles to strengthen enforcement of restrictions during the forthcoming Ekiti State governorship election. This follows the Corps Marshal's order to the officers and men of the Corps to ensure effective collaboration with the Nigerian police, INEC, and other security agencies in the enforcement of restrictions on vehicular movement. In a statement by the Corps Public Education Officer BC Kazim, the Corps Marshal called on electorates in the state to comply with all regulations, including restrictions, as would be announced, as he wished the entire state a peaceful, free and fair election. Now, every June 12 is International Day Against Child Labor. The International Labour Organization says the theme of this year, which is centered on universal social protection to end child labor, may be at a crossroads depending on choices made by national governments. It is in this regard that the ILO is using the occasion of the International Labour Conference in Geneva, Switzerland, to call for increased social protection as the most powerful measure to prevent child labor, providing families with income security in difficult times. Emiro was there and now reports for us.
Current studies by the International Labour Organization reveal that despite significant progress made in certain regions, global progress is stalled due to the impact of COVID-19, putting millions of children between ages 5 to 11 at risk of poverty, rising inequality, and school closure.
And without decisive countermeasures taken by governments, the number of children in child labour could rise by almost 9 million to 169 million this year.
Consensus among some ILO constituents and partners is the development of protection systems and schemes to protect vulnerable children from child labor.
Social protection expansion result in reduction in child labor. This can be through cash transfers, it can be through school feeding programs.
A parent that doesn't have his social security to back him up definitely will not be able to take proper care of the child, and this definitely will lead to the child trying to find a way to become an income generator for the family.
With the shortage of social security cover, it also put a lot of people in jeopardy, particularly even the workers, where in some cases pension is not being paid as when due, gratuity is not being paid as when due.
The conference noted that universal social protection is particularly powerful when coverage stretches across the life cycle, from child maternity and family benefits to unemployment support, old age pensions, and healthcare. From Geneva, Switzerland, Emmanuel Ayemio, NTA News.
To religious matters, and 1,354 Nigerian pilgrims have so far been airlifted to Medina in Saudi Arabia for this year's Hajj. Correspondent Yusuf Umar reports that Nigerian pilgrims passed the Saudi checks and health certifications.
Out of the 1,354 pilgrims that arrived Medina, 758 males with 596 females flown in 3 different flights from Borno and FCT. For now, NACON has approved 10 airlift points across the country, which include Abuja, Kano, Maiduguri, Lagos, Kaduna, and Sokoto. This is aimed at reducing the burden of the pilgrims and to ensure a hitch-free 2022 Hajj operations. On arrival, NACON officials were on hand to receive the pilgrims and transport them to their various hotels as they were conducted around some of the facilities in their room and the hotels, since some of them were visiting for the first time. Feeding of the pilgrims is also a special priority. In the next few weeks, Nigeria is expected to airlift about 43,000 pilgrims for the 2022 Hajj. From Medina, Saudi Arabia, Yusuf Umar, NTA News.
In other news, suspected terrorists have abducted more than 50 traders along Gusau-Sokoto Highway. The captives, mostly young traders who sell smartphones and accessories at a Gusau popular market, were on the way back from wedding fatia of one of their colleagues in Sokoto State. The victims, traveling in 3 buses, were intercepted by the terrorists near Tureta town along Sokoto-Zamfara State's boundary on Saturday evening. Spokesman of Zamfara State Police Command, SP Shehu Mohammed, who confirmed the incident, said 20 of the captives have so far regained their freedom. It further says the command has deployed a special search and rescue team to the area with the intent of rescuing the remaining victims unhurt. Time now to take sports news, and we join Cynthia Ogun for the details.
Great expectations from football enthusiasts in the country, the Super Eagles of Nigeria are determined to outplay their next opponents in the AFCON qualifiers, having taken to the field in Hajj, Morocco, for yet another intense training with their new technical crew. This first training comes hours after their arrival to Morocco as they prepare to trade tackles with the island nation of Sao Tome and Principe on Monday, June 13, in a March Day 2 fixture of Group A's 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying campaign. Prequel to this encounter, the Super Eagles came from a goal down to defeat their first opponents, Leon Stars of Sierra Leone, 2-1 at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium. In domestic football, Aimba stunned Kwara United 3-0, while Canopilas drew 1-1 against their visiting opponent in March Day 33 of the Nigeria Professional Football League. Other matches saw Nasarawa United and Aqua United returned to form, beating Enugu Rangers and Remo Stars 1-0. Sunshine Stars, table toppers Rivers United, Casino United, Lobi Stars and Shooting Stars shared scores, winning their matches 2-1, and Dakada FC put up a good performance to draw their host, Gombe United, 2-2. In athletics, Chukwuebuka Inekwechi won Nigeria's 5th gold medal of the African Senior Championships in Mauritius with the season's best and championship record of 21.20 meters in the men's shot put, erasing his previous record of 21.08 meters set in Asaba. Nigeria currently is joint third alongside Algeria on the medal table of the 22nd African Senior Athletics Championship, holding in Mauritius with a total of 11 medals, comprising 5 gold, 3 silver and 3 bronze medals. South Africa tops the table with 9 gold, 13 silver and 14 bronze, followed closely by Kenya, who are on 10 gold, 5 silver and 8 bronze medals. With sports update, there, Ogun, NTA News.
Now, as part of events to commemorate the 7th anniversary of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, a documentary entitled Buhari's Footprints will air on the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) on Wednesday, June 15th at 8 p.m. All NTA stations are advised to hook up. And the former Executive Director, Administration and Training of the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) and now the Managing Director, ASO Broadcasting Corporation, Ibrahim Damisa, has lost his wife. Hajj Mariam Ibrahim Damisa died this evening in Abuja at the age of 56 after a protracted illness. Scores of sympathizers joined the family for the funeral prayers at the National Mosque before her body was buried in accordance with Islamic rites at the Gudu Cemetery. Hajj Mariam, a lawyer who worked with the legal department of the Independent Electoral Commission (INEC), is survived by her husband, 5 children and grandchildren. That ends the news from Abuja studios. Jennifer will be on in a moment with a continuation of Newsline, but don't forget to always join us in our campaign against rape and rapists, that we too can be a star.
10. Get a Glow SIM today and enjoy 1,000 Naira sign-on bonus for voice and data. All new and existing subscribers also get 10 times the value of their every recharge, plus up to double their data recharge as bonus. All Glow subscribers also get up to free 20,000 Naira bonus for voice and data.
Staying healthy is about how you live, when and what you eat, and the things you do with your body. I ensure my family live healthy, eat healthy, and engage in healthy activities. There's this fantastic product that also helps me and my family stay healthy and purify. Yo-Yo Bitters. For over 2 decades, Yo-Yo Bitters has provided families with the right blend of herbal ingredients that ensure wholesome and toxin-free body system. Yo-Yo Bitters is an all-round family health product that helps your body system cope with the rigors of everyday life. It is not enough to just live. A healthy and active life is something every family should strive for and work toward. Yo-Yo Bitters is that companion that will support you in achieving a healthy and balanced life. Yo-Yo Bitters. Live healthy, feel lively, and stay purified.
Hello everyone. Hope you people have linked your NIN. Don't be like my son Oshegun, who had to wait for his land to be disconnected.
Yes, so mommy, but I am now reconnected. Yes. I went to Airtel shop, enrolled for my NIN, and we registered my line. Simple and short, no stress. It didn't end there. Airtel rewarded me with a no-vex bonus of 20,000 Naira free airtime and data to access all my social media accounts. If you already have NIN, all you need to do is dial *121 or visit the Airtel website to get the link out. Get on it.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
God, everybody knows say I be real person. Even for my accent, na original. As far as see me so, I know they joke with anything where they bring rich flavor, rich nutrition, and great taste. By Checkers custard made 3-in-1, the Totorica, Ganga, and rich custard.
Checkers. Custard be that.
The federal government wishes to inform intending pilgrims to Saudi Arabia that the Saudi government will conduct random blood tests to verify COVID-19 vaccination status of all pilgrims. If you are a prospective pilgrim and unvaccinated or due for your second or booster dose, hurry now to the nearest vaccination site to get vaccinated against COVID-19. In Saudi Arabia, pilgrims may be randomly chosen for antigen tests to confirm their vaccination status. Avoid embarrassment. Ensure that you're fully vaccinated. Please verify your vaccination records by visiting www.vaccination.gov.ng/verification-guide at least 48 hours before your departure date. For any inquiries, visit www.mphcda.gov.ng or call 0700-220-122. That's 0700-220-122. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Have you been disconnected because you didn't link your national identification number to your MTN number? Don't worry. If you already have your NIN, here are 5 easy ways to reconnect. 1. Dial *785#. 2. Text your NIN to 785. 3. Use WhatsApp. Chat with Ziggy. 4. Use the My MTN NG app. 5. Visit mtn.ng/NIN. Whatever method you choose, make sure you get a confirmation message. If you don't have an NIN, simply visit www.mtn.ng to book an appointment, or just walk into an MTN store or NIMC center near you. What are we doing today?
Introducing Good Night Power Shots Multi-Infect Killer. Fast action and great fragrance. Spray 2 shots each in 4 corners of the room. Stops mosquitoes without stopping family moments. Good Night Power Shots. Spray inside, stay inside. Endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association.
Times 10. Get a Glow SIM today and enjoy 1,000 Naira sign-on bonus for voice and data. All new and existing Glow subscribers also get 10 times the value of their every recharge, plus up to double their data recharge as bonus. All Glow subscribers also get up to free 20,000 Naira bonus for voice and data.
Welcome back. June 12, 1993 is a watershed in Nigeria's political history and credited with birthing the current democratic dispensation one way or the other. Even 29 years after that election and events that followed are still a dominant memory for some Nigerians whose reflections is not just about today, but the hope it was conceived to deliver. In this report, Adeni Itaiwo takes us back in time through the eyes of an activist who was involved.
MKO, action!
Deadline. Saturday, June 12, 1993. About 40 million Nigerians voting quietly, hope rising, waiting for the actualization of a mandate freely given. The announcement of results began. Then came the annulment. Now a major date in the political calendar of the nation, echoes of June 12 and its struggles are still alive for some of the actors of that movement, even 29 years after. Deadline, Sunday, June 12, 2022. It was noon and he was lounging in his courtyard, probably reflecting on national issues when the news crew came calling. Now a non-Nigerian, Pa Ayo Adebanjo's aged body is in sharp contrast with his mind, which at 94 remains as sharp and keen as it was many years ago when he plied his trade as both journalist and a lawyer. A vocal activist since the 1950s when he was a student in London, Pa Ayo Adebanjo is a veteran of many battles and different causes.
Quickly, I met my bread is when he said man died. I was saying somebody was saying, don't kill him, don't kill him. I was the person. So that was it. I see you don't remember for him. Don't say what's trying to escape, don't escape him.
He shared many of them with me, particularly his major recollections of the 1993 presidential election and the subsequent struggle.
The purpose of that election for our country is the first election people believe our vote counted. We lied before our candidate. There can be no reading. Government was a witness to that day, not a drop of rain. Bright sunshine.
Beyond recovering a dashed mandate, June 12 for Pa Adebanjo expresses the desire for an electoral system that truly captures the wish and democratic aspirations of Nigerians.
It's an attempt to establish democracy as the practice in the civilized world. And we thought that was an opportunity when people vote, blue card.
Aside his well-published grouse with the 1999 Constitution as amended, Pa Adebanjo believes that June 12 should be the standard for any election in Nigeria going forward.
Our position is the matter of principle. If you want to have peace in this country, then you have no equity, no justice. Without that, you are serious.
A lot more with me, making it a day of reminiscences for him and a moment of deep political insight for me. At the center of it all is a clarion call to make the sacrifice of June 12 election count for all of us.
Good to hear from people like that. And I still remember that on that June 12, on that day of the election, it was raining, and some of us didn't understand why people were standing on the long queue to vote. Today, it all makes sense to us, the importance of history. Now, June 12, that day fell on a Sunday, considered to be a day of rest for many Nigerians. This year's celebration was another opportunity for people to unwind. Amako visited some parts of Lagos metropolis to observe the mood and process of the whole celebration, and she caught up with a 90-year-old man, Aremu Gawandu, who witnessed the June 12 declaration.
Visits to Ekpetedo shows the people are going about their normal businesses.
It's a pleasure celebrating the June 12 because that's what we know as a democracy day.
Ekpetedo is situated on Lagos Island. It is significant because the story of June 12 cannot be complete without the mention of Ekpetedo Declaration. This is where late Chief MKO Abiola declared himself winner over 25 years ago. I visited Pa Aremu Gawandu, who witnessed the declaration made by winner of the June 12 election in 1993.
We met him at the junction of Freeman Street by Gambari. We led him to Primary Palace Club. He dressed in a suit, clean suit. And he came with complete agbada, full agbada with cap, everything, green and white. So immediately we entered Primary Palace Club. That place was not so decent as it is now. Within 10 minutes, he said we should do quick because he's feeling some detectives coming to arrest him. So he make up his mind. He made a speech that he won the election, he did this, that, and he should be elected.
In some other parts of Lagos visited, the streets were decorated and the people were in a celebrative mood.
We are very happy in our environment for signing the June. More so, and we even like the way they change it to Democracy Day. Democracy stands for freedom of speech, freedom of education, freedom of religion. So we can What's our point of view?
Fun seekers were sighted getting a feel of nature's gifts at the beach. It was celebration galore all the way.
We are celebrating June 12th. We just have to make ourselves happy.
Lagosians wish Nigeria a happy Democracy Day and pray that the country will continue to experience many more years of democratic rule.
The true Lasgidi spirit there. Now, Democracy Day is a reminder that we must uphold our democracy. Now, meanwhile, common interests bring people together to form and propagate a cause through platforms that include political parties with achievable and realistic ideologies. In the current dispensation, what do political parties stand for? What are those ideologies that endear members? Aisha Uba Ali, in this special report, sought to find out answers to these and more.
Political parties are motivated by ideology goals common for democratic elections to future between people with different ideologies. The First and Second Republic ran a multiple system with parties like the PRP, ACN, UPN, NPN, NEPU, AD, NCNC, Republican Party, amongst others. In the Third Republic, it was a two-party system with SDP and NRC. And now, with multiple parties. Most people who join these parties then base their interests on their ideologies. Observers believe that ideologies of political leaders like the late Shehu Shagari, Malang Aminu Kano, Nnamdi Azikiwe, MKO Abiola, and many others were motivating and encouraging as they mostly stood for social justice, enduring their followers. Observers believe it's not that political parties in this dispensation do not have the ideologies to move the nation forward, but the issue is that most politicians have seen political parties as a platform to drive them to their political destination. 56-year-old Ken Emaswagbon is a politician, an educationist, and a lawyer. He is one of those that read about the First Republic in the books, witnessed the Second Republic as a young schoolboy, and now a political actor who has contested fortunes for a governorship seat, though he was never opportune to win.
What makes us great is the content of character, the values, the probity, the beliefs, the programs, the manifestos, the ideology. Our politicians today lack ideology.
Political analysts have faulted most of what plays out today, attributing it to the general decadence in the value system, as electoral reforms has not solved most of the political bottlenecks, especially the monetization of political activities.
A place like Africa, in a place like Nigeria, as young people, we grew up with those ideologies that had emerged, had taken place, but were about to go away. Ideologies like NEPU in the north, PRP, the Teleka movement, and so on and so forth.
The monetization of election and of politics generally is a reflection of what we have in society. A lot of people are not in politics, not for the commitment to any values or any ideology, because they think that is the fastest way they can get the national cake, so to say.
For those who have defected to another party one time or the other, was it a reason of compromising parties, or the ideology of the politicians changed?
The crisscross, quite unfortunate. It tells who we are now as a people. It tells who we are now as a Nigerian. But the Third Republic, we've had gains. What are the gains? There have been stability in the political environment.
All reasons notwithstanding, observers reaffirm that politicians who are representatives of the people should continue to keep faith and stick to those that have the interests of the majority rather than itself, as well as put the nation first.
The need for political ideology is crucial. Now, decades back, we had women whose ideologies were so powerful that we still talk about them today. Are you wondering who these women are? Keep guessing as we take a break.
Sunday. Yes, my guy. Come. 1,000 naira. Buy me every card. You what I said. Thank you. Oh. Sunday don't finish me. I say 1,000 naira recharge card. You can 8,000 naira of my money, go load them. Because money there your hand, Abi.
Oga, no. As I load the 1,000 naira, I use Airtel Ovajara, turn them to 8,000 naira, just like that.
8 times the value of any recharge, plus double data and 1,000 naira activation bonus when you buy a new SIM.
Sunday, go buy us. Okay. I'll make sure say I put Ovajara for you.
God, everybody knows say I be real person. Even for my acting, na original. As na dey see me so, I no dey joke with anything wey dey bring flavor, total nutrition, and great taste. Like my Checkers custard make 3-in-1, the Totorica, Danda, and rich custard.
Checkers. Na custard be that.
Give me some of that. Some of that. Give me some of that. Some of that. One, make you know like two, 3, yeah, I think I like that more.
All I do is win. I wake up, I win. I close my eyes, and I win. Independent women, come on, let's get it. I'ma keep winning till the world stops.
Wow, you look great. Did you just bring me a salon? Darling superstar, braids that stay salon fresh no matter what.
I find the strength I need every time that I look into your eyes. Show me. I know they worry, cause I know you did by my side. And if I fall away, right in the midst of my hour, you know that I am my one. You always take for me. No matter what I do, you love me unconditionally. You show up for me every day, no matter when I show you. You show me love. You show me love.
Transportation is important to the growth of the Nigerian economy. The depth of accurate data in the transportation sector is hampering government's plans to minimize transport infrastructure gaps. The Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology National Transport Data Bank, the first of its kind in Nigeria, is producing a comprehensive nationwide database for transportation transport-related activities. The data bank's scope covers road, rail, water, air, and pipeline. The goal of the data bank is to improve planning, policy formulation, and effective collaboration in the transport sector. To find out more, visit the website at www.ntd.ng.
God
Bedmates Furniture is here to delight you with super cool luxury furniture you love and desire for that amazing look in your home and office. From 16th May to 25th June 2022, Bedmates brings you the biggest sales of luxury furniture at unbelievable low prices. As we celebrate you, our darling friend and customer, in the 20th anniversary of giving you love and comfort and furniture you're proud of, the moment your guests and loved ones come through your door with their oohs and ahs. Visit Bedmates showrooms now to get furniture that brings life to your home and enjoy delightful gifts like cash bags, beds, sofas, dining tables, and plenty others you love to have.
Welcome back. Democracy implies the representation of the will of the people in governance. Celebrating Nigeria's democracy will be incomplete without history and those whose actions at one time or the other asserted the relevance of the will of the people. One of them is Margaret Ekpo. The late political activist blazed the trail by fighting for the rights of women providing a foundation for their active participation in politics. Justina Etim will tell us more.
Lies the remains of a leading member of a class of traditional women rights activists, late Margaret Ekpo, who spearheaded the Abuja riots protesting against economic oppression and restriction of the role of women in government in an era where men dominated politics.
There was some strike in Enugu by miners because they were not treated well. Margaret Ekpo mobilized women to speak for those men, and the colonial governments then had to look into that.
Margaret Ekpo is she's an institution. She started out by having a sense of equity and justice and fairness.
The exploit of Margaret Ekpo in politics, no doubt, opened a new chapter for inclusiveness, with more women vying for elective positions in Nigeria, while in Cross River states, women like Senator Florence Itagiwa and Ambassador Nkoyotoyo have already made a mark in the green and red chambers.
Women should not just sit down in the house and feel that God will send manna from heaven for them.
Those statistics shows that women participation in politics in the country has remained at 6.7% in elective and appointive positions, which is far beyond the 5.5%. Dimansa Adegoke is optimistic that with the right strategies, women will not only hold leadership positions, but will break the barrier and become governors and even a president, which has never been in the political history of Nigeria.
One of the things we're doing is participating. So participation is key. You should participate because you have a vision, you have a purpose, you have what you want to achieve.
Women have over the years shown capability in the management of human and material resources. And women politicians say, if given the opportunity to lead, this gender will make significant impact and enthrone good governance.
Daring initiatives and activism by Margaret Ekpo and other women in that era, including Flora Azikwe and others, created a platform for us women today. And what they recorded in that era, they're what we're riding on. Now, another Amazon in Nigeria's history and fight for equity for women is late Fumilayo Ransom Kuti. She was a woman of several firsts and stood for what she believed in. To a cross-section of Lagosians, upholding her legacies is all that is needed by women to take their rightful place in Nigeria's political space. Annie Daniels has details.
Olufumilayo Ransom Kuti was born on the 25th of October 1900 in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Though not educated, she however stood and fought against injustice against women.
She was always out on the street, mobilizing women against unlawful taxation. She was a woman that could confront anyone.
Understanding the importance of education in actualizing her dream, she became the first woman to be enrolled in an all-boys school in Abuja. Not satisfied with that, Olufunmilayo Ransome-Kuti attended several schools and conferences, home and abroad, including studying elocution. These steps strengthened the springboard for her to lead marches and protests of up to 10,000 women, demanding better representation of women in local government bodies.
She went as far as organizing evening classes, not giving people money to do that. She was physically on ground. The children, she had about 4 of them. Auntie Diolu, Professor Luko Ransome-Kuti, Fela Nicola Bokuti, Beko Ransome-Kuti. I mean, there is nowhere that their names have not been heard in the world. So it shows that she knew what family was and what commitment to the society was.
A woman that is inspiring other women, for her to become the first lady to drive a car.
My respondents agree that there are still women in Nigeria who can do better than Olufunmilayo Ransome-Kuti.
And they are coming up. Talk of any profession, you see girls there, you see women there. They are taking their right steps now. They are taking their right position.
So if a mother can hold on to a family, bring a family up, and make a family a very unique one to represent the family out there, they can do the same thing to the society.
A woman is seated before me here now, putting me on the hot seat on this interview. So we have women that have excelled, and we will have to erase the idea of the fact that this is not what.
One day, from this generation, I'm going to have a president. A female president, not vice president. I'm talking about female, and when that happens, our nation will be in a better place.
As Nigeria marks yet another milestone in the nation's democratic dispensation, Nigerians are advised to tap and make proper use of women's numerical strength and innate ability so as to effectively contribute their quota to nation building.
Funmilayo Ransome-Kuti, like Margaret Ekpo, was quite brave. She also achieved feats that were beyond the reach of women in her time. Very impressive. We'll take another break. Newsline will continue shortly.
At all, we know that as a mother, one thing you should never compromise on is your family's oral health, because they deserve the best. Oral B, all-round protection. It's great value. Protects your mouth from harmful bacteria, and also protects you against tooth holes and gum problems, which can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your family's teeth and gives them all-round protection. So remember, protect their future. Oral B for healthier, stronger teeth in just 1 week.
Engage your team this summer at Digitest 2022, an annual ICT creative camp and competition for young minds of ages 8 to 18. With the theme Connecting Technology, Energy and Climate. Date Saturday, August 13 to Sunday, August 21st, 2022. Venue, Top Faith International Secondary School, Nkpatak, Akwa Ibom State. For registration, visit www.digitalpairs.org. For information and inquiries, call 0807-782-3307 or 0807-782-3308. For more updates, follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and link it at Digital Peers. Digitest is brought to you by Digital Peers International in collaboration with the Akwa Ibom State Government.
The race to 2023 Africa Cup of Nations is on. And after claiming maximum points against the Leone Stars of Sierra Leone, the Super Eagles of Nigeria are on the move again, this time against Sao Tome and Principe at Stade d'Agadir, Morocco, on Monday 13th June 2022 at 2 p.m. Nigerian time. Catch the action live on the NTA network service. For advertisements, please call Hawa on 0803 312 1022. Sao Tome and Principe versus Nigeria. Don't miss it.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal sheeting, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed, becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty. It's time. Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
Shey you dey find ogbonge entertainment? No look far o. Na Go TV dey. Enjoy better film, correct season film sef, boku, telenovelas from all over the world, football, educational and fun channels for your children. Naija shows them like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? No darling at all o. Go carry your Go TV decoder, Go Tenor plus 1 month max subscription for just 6,900 naira. Beware stories live. Go TV. Love it.
Welcome back. It was a historic moment for the people of Katsina, friends and well-wishers, when the Emir Abdul Mumin Kabir Usman conferred the highest chieftaincy title of Wazir Katsina on the former parliamentarian Senator Ibrahim Mohammed Ida. Distinguished personalities from all walks of life, including the Executive Director News of NTA, Mohammed Labo, converged on the Emir's palace to witness the turbaning ceremony of the 6th Waziri of Katsina. Awal Haliru captured the historic moment for Newsline.
This is the atmosphere of royalty at the palace of the Emir of Katsina when people converge to witness the historic turbaning of Wazir in Katsina, Senator Ibrahim Ida. The title of Waziri, which is considered as one of the most important positions in the emirate, is given to the trusted person close to the Emir. Waziri is the chief advisor to the Emir and is influential in decision making at the emirate. Emir Abdul Kabir Usman says the chieftaincy title was conferred on Senator Ibrahim Ida in recognition of his enormous contributions to the development of Katsina State and Nigeria as a whole. He urged the new Waziri to sustain his efforts towards moving the state forward. After the Tabani, the Waziri, in a procession of horse riders, proceeded to the family house in Bakin Kaswa of Katsina Metropolis. Family members, friends, well-wishers and colleagues prayed for Allah's guardians to the new Waziri and the discharge of his responsibilities.
A very, very experienced, renowned, totally committed Katsina man.
I congratulate him and I pray God to give him the strength, the wisdom to discharge this onerous responsibility to Katsina Emirate, to Nigeria and to humanity.
You will use your wisdom to see that development have been produced in the state.
My expectations are he will do very well where he is placed, especially the security situation.
So I'm very happy that I'm here and I've learned a lot. Looking at how friendly and how nice the people in Katsina are.
The new Wazir in Katsina, Senator Ibrahim Ida, who has been in service, politics and now business, promised to come up with action plan that would assist in addressing insecurity, poverty, unemployment and other social vices in the society.
His Royal Highness the Emir of Katsina should expect full obedience, respect and commitment to serve him and to serve Katsina people.
Guests to the occasion were honored to a grand reception as well as a get-together for family members. Senator Ibrahim Ida earlier held the titles of Damaji and Sardona before the current position of Waziri of Katsina, which is the 6th in the history of Katsina Emirate.
Congratulations to the new Waziri. Now, personalities from all walks of life converged on Wamako local government area of Sokoto State to witness the wedding fatia of Suweiba Haliru Nababa, daughter of the Controller General, Nigerian Correctional Service, Haliru Nababa. The event took place at the palace of the Ubandoman Akila Aliyu Hassan. Dalhatu Abdullahi has the report.
Gathering that attracted personalities from all walks of life within and outside the state. That include Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol, Minister of Police Affairs Muhammad Maigari Ngadi, senior security officers, serving and retired, including Commandant General, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Dr. Ahmed Abubakar Audi, among others. This is to witness the wedding Fatiha of Aminu Mustafa and Suweiba Haliru Nababa, the daughter of the Comptroller General, Nigerian Correctional Service. Governor Tambol gave out the hand of the bride, while Al-Qali Bello Al-Mustafa accepted for the groom. Sarki Malaman Sakoto Sheikh Yahya Boy led the wedding prayer after payment of 100,000 naira as dowry. Parents and well-wishers enjoined the couple to uphold Islamic tenets in their marriage life.
Need for peaceful coexistence, the need for patience with one another as a couple, and the need for them to remain strongly united as a couple.
We enjoin the husband to play his role as the father of the house, while the wife she obey the husband. In that on that home, they will be able to live happily and have a peaceful married life.
Strongly advise them to be patient, to be tolerant with each other.
The couple could not hide their joy and expressed gratitude to Allah for the day.
We will live in peace and harmony. We will try as much as we could to abide by the dictates of Islam.
The couple had a dinner where they performed their first assignment, together cutting the wedding cake.
1, 2, 3.
It will only be the two of them that will be in the same room. Therefore, they should be patient with each other. They should be able to settle their problem without engaging a third party.
Once they have God in their marriage, they have everything. They should be friends to each other. There should be communication, very, very key to any successful marriage.
I pray that God will give them that endurance and peace to find that perfection in marriage.
I will advise that they keep themselves to the ethics of marriage life.
And they should respect their parents because they've gone so far to bring them to this level in their life. I wish them the best.
The parents appreciated everyone that graced the wedding, praying Allah for many mercies for all.
Congratulations to the new couple. We wish them the very best. Our last break is on cue. We'll take it.
Race to 2023 Africa Cup of Nations is on. And after claiming maximum points against the Leon Stars of Sierra Leone, the Super Eagles of Nigeria are on the move again, this time against Sao Tome and Principe at Stade d'Agadir, Morocco, on Monday 13th June 2022 at 2 p.m. Nigerian time. Catch the action live on the NTA network service. For advertisements, please call on 0803 312 1022. Sao Tome and Principe versus Nigeria. Don't miss it.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Now, this is where we'll end today's episode of Newsline. Note that we all have a part to play in safeguarding our democracy. Okay, have that in mind until we meet again next week. And don't forget that the fastest and easiest way to becoming a star is to connect with the NTA to stand against rape and rapists. Good night and God bless Nigeria.
Lives are in your hands while you drive. Protect yourself and others on the road. Road Matters, shown the network service of the NTA.
NTA, you can't beat the rich. And there's a start. Heads up that way. Archbishop of basketball, go! He hung on that net like a stalk up a tree. NTA Sports 24 brings you all sports, all time and all day. Tune in to watch NTA Sports 24 on Star Times Channel 270, Star Sat on Channel 434, TV on Channel 731. NTA Sports 24, where sports thrive.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Hello, a very warm welcome to the program Reflections. My name is Yusuf Nadab Usman. Tonight we shall be looking at politics, international relations. We look at generally the civil service and some part of business. And we shall be doing that through the prism of a person that has gone through these stages and is still in the political waters of Nasarawa, said I may say, and has started all these political issues right from the Benue Plateau State days, far back into the 70s, up we come to this time around. My guest is around 74 years old and